Okay, so things are really ramping up at this Portland federal building. It's been about 4 months in a row now where protesters and federal agents have been clashing every single night.
And it would be really helpful if people who are on the ground, who are able to see some of that technology that ICE is using, if you could photograph it and send it to our offices, that's all information that we can use to try to figure out where we need to target.
That was a Portland City Council member asking people to take pictures of Homeland Security agents in order to figure out what equipment they're using. So again, this situation is really starting to ramp up. So we are going to dig into all of these new developments every single day. It's a brand new story. So before we start this video, make sure you guys please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well. And this story is so underreported. People need to see what's going on in Portland.
I got it recorded. I think I got it recorded.
Okay, so we got some pretty big news, but first, the person holding the American flag, his name is Ryan, he is a friend of the channel. Basically, he let me know the current federal agents who are at this building, they are the original group that were first clashing with these protesters, which means they are not there to mess around, they know all of the tactics, they are prepared to face these protesters one-on-one. In fact, we are already seeing this new rotation is a little more clever. They use the height to their advantage to really see everything that's going on. They pick and choose their battles, and here's a montage clip from Katie Davis Court, another journalist who's been assaulted numerous times. She really captured what it looks like with these new federal agents on the ground.
Weapons down, That's what I fucking thought. You're dragging the flag on the ground!
Yeah. If you get in my face, I'm gonna hit you.
3 foot zone. Get the fuck whoa! You walk up to her and you tell her to back away. What is happening?
Then why don't you do that with the
Okay, so right here is a prime example of what protesters will do to try and trick the federal agents to come outside of the federal building. Basically, this protester, we saw it on film, they started the fight with the other person, but sometimes federal agents don't know what to do other than just run outside of the building, try to break it up, and then from there, the federal agents will get attacked by the protesters. Classic tactic. But these federal agents, they're not falling for it. They're using the high ground to really understand what's going on. They know all of the tricks.
Everything is okay! You read it! Back up! Back up!
Real quick, before we continue, make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you guys up to date with this Portland story. The mainstream media does not cover this, and I want to make sure you guys are informed on what's going on at this building with the constant clashes and the new policy changes. Here's another example of how these federal agents are pushing back against these protesters. This blue line right here was never there, but now this new rotation, they have this blue line to indicate if you cross the line, you are on federal property. A lot of times these protesters were able to take advantage of saying, I'm not on the federal property, I'm standing right here on this grate. Well, now there is a clear blue line, and the cameras who are capturing all of these protesters, now you can clearly identify who who's breaking the law and not breaking the law. And again, this right here is probably the biggest change we have seen so far with these new federal agents. For some reason, the other rotations were not fully utilizing the power of having a height advantage over these protesters. And again, all of this has a massive impact moving forward as far as how these protesters are going to deal with these federal agents.
My office has taken more of the data and surveillance privacy approach because I think that the next frontier of fighting fascism is going to be immense government surveillance. So that includes anything from license plate readers to facial recognition technology. And it would be really helpful if people who are on the ground, who are able to see some of that technology that ICE is using, if you could photograph it and send it to our offices, that's all information that we can use to try to figure out where we need to target, because it's not freely available to us, all of the tools that they have at their disposal.
Okay, so that video was posted by a legitimate council member of Portland. Her name is Angelita, and I accidentally found that video on her TikTok. So here's the thing. It's not necessarily illegal to take pictures of federal agents, but I think you really get into that gray area when you are requesting that people take pictures of federal agents in order to gather evidence or information for whatever this office is even trying to accomplish. Obviously, she is not a fan of Homeland Security or ICE agents doing these deportations, but when it comes to requesting that you gather evidence or encourage the gathering of evidence of federal officers, I think you can start to get into the gray area of being in a little trouble.
Recently, advocates put together this list of recommendations, some of which we're already working on and some of which are new ideas to us that will be very helpful. We are already working on the tear gas aspect of that, and I have privately and publicly shared that I have asked Mayor Wilson to stop doing sweeps on the medic tent at McAdam because it is absolutely essential for protesters to stay safe, and to stop sweeping the tables that are providing legal resources to people who desperately need them right now.
And speaking of the medic tent, these tents or encampments, they are illegal according to the city's own code. And you have a city council member who's requesting, we shouldn't get rid of these tents even though they're in front of the school that's being forced to move and the school is blaming ICE. We actually have home footage of one of the protesters who brags about when these tents are taken down, we just bring them right back up. So check this clip out. Again, all of this is rather shocking, but the point I'm trying to make is it's literally everyone versus Homeland Security at that federal building. They are on their own. They even have city council members who can't stand them. They're trying to get rid of them, and I'm really trying to show you guys the full scope of the situation in Portland. Check this clip out.
All right, it is August 26th, midday about, and this morning PPB came through with rapid response BioClean, and they swept the camp. But as you can see, we are now back up and running. We've got the ribs on the barbecue already. Just a couple of hours after PPB and rapid response came through, we've already got, let's see, which one is this? This is our PPE bucket.
And again, you have a city councilor who's painting this picture like, they really need this stuff, this medic tent, it's all very important. And then the Portland police, they show up with rapid response, they clean it all up. Basically, if you are a taxpayer in Portland, this is what you are paying for. You are paying for a city councilor to get rid of the rapid response team to clean this all up. You have these protesters who don't care, they build it all back up, and then the rapid response team, they just clean it all back up again. So there go your taxpayer dollars, by the way.
Little wagon full of PPE, and let's see, this is our medical supplies wagon. Yeah, so we got that all back. We managed to save the piano even. We managed to save some food and some silverware and some zines and a ginormous, look at that, ginormous tub full of baby wipes, which are excellent for getting rid of tear gas residue and pepper spray. So we are just about already set back up down here a couple hours after the sweep. So good try, PPB, but we are unkillable. We're cockroaches down here. We will haunt your dreams forever.
So as the protesters laugh and giggle and break every rule ever, they know there are city council members because I can read the comments. We actually can see some of these same protesters in the videos under the comments of these city councilors who are so thankful for them. These encampments, they all happen pretty much right here. But here's the thing, as the city councilor really stands up for all of these people who are building up the tents, the protesters, nobody is talking about the residents who have to deal with this every single day in these buildings, in these residential buildings. And so this is where we are at a standstill. It looks like the city has really taken the side of these protesters who keep rebuilding these camps, and city taxpayer money is just going back to eliminate them. The protesters laugh and say, it doesn't matter, we're just going to come back, and we keep seeing it time and time again. What this is just a staging area to be prepared to protest the federal building where tear gas munitions get launched, and then all of the people who suffer at the end of the day, it's not the protesters, it's the actual residents who live in the building just across the street.
So this happened tonight at the Portland Music Festival. This person went the wrong way down a one-way street and pulled over and stopped, and he got out and he asked, "Hey, you guys Antifa?" And people were like, yeah, so he went back, got into his truck, and came out with a fire extinguisher and a bat. And at first, people thought, okay, this guy might be on our side. Maybe he's angry about what's going on, too. It looks like, people are like, all right, come on, let's go. And then he turns on Antifa, the music festival goers. And he starts trying to fight people. You see this, he goes up to some of our younger comrades with the bat.
This right here highlights a policy where when the local police don't show up, it could actually work against the protesters. In this situation, these protesters didn't know what to do because they don't really receive counter-protesters like this. In fact, the federal agents, they had to leave the federal building in order to save and protect the protesters who were protesting the federal agents. But I thought you'd find this interesting, how sometimes these policies that the protesters are fighting for, it could actually backfire on them, especially in extreme situations just like this. And I know this is one of the policies that the protesters want because when you go to the city councilor's video that we watched before, under the Our Asks, it says, create a work group to monitor Portland Police Bureau and public safety interaction with federal officers. Again, with such a vague statement, this is why the Portland police are not showing up in the area. If it looks like or it's perceived that they're working with the federal agents, they could all be in trouble. Those police officers could lose their job, and the protesters could turn on the police officers. So I'm just trying to show you guys there seems to be a lot of contradictions within the policies and what people want and don't want. At the end of the day, when you look at the city of Portland, it's a very unfortunate situation, but everything ties back to the federal agents. What this shows is that they are legitimately on their own. Okay, now I think you'll find this video rather interesting. Again, another protester who's down at the Portland Federal Building quite a lot explains why they are at the Portland Federal Building. I think you'll find it rather interesting.
Lots of people have been in my comments, even sympathetic people, asking, what is the Portland 24/7 Music Festival actually doing? I mean, are we directly stopping deportations? Are we... What? What are we doing? We're out there really just having a big block party every night until DHS decides to come out and brutalize us. So what are we really doing? Because from my reckoning, as somebody down there as a journalist, it's really just a block party. People aren't doing a whole lot except keeping the camp going and keeping themselves entertained. We build up the camp, we do chores, we do everything, we make food, we make sure everybody's got all their needs met, and then we hang out. But when ICE comes out, we always go over there and at least yell at them. So what is that actually really doing? And I think the answer is really simple, is we're never giving them rest. we are never giving DHS and ICE a rest day. We have been there over 75 days. And I don't think they can believe it.
So you get a lot of different answers as to why these protesters are surrounding the Portland Federal Building 24/7, and here's one of them. And one thing I will say is, again, the city council members, they support this. Now, something else I do want to say is, I actually agree with this protester. It is quite shocking that they have managed to maintain a siege for about 4 months in a row now. In fact, I get a lot of people in my comments say, where is Tom Homan? Where is the National Guard? Where's the Trump administration? They're sending the National Guard to all of these other cities, but if there's one location that probably needs it the most, it's most likely this building where we are seeing clashes every single night.
They have used so much munitions on us. They have brutalized us so much every single night. We got tear gassed this last Monday. On a Monday evening, we got tear gassed. They are so scared of our morale that they are tear gassing us on Monday evenings, trying to get us out of there. But we are still there. But their morale, because we're there every day, and all the time that we are interfacing with them, we are tying up their time. We are taking away soldiers who could be used to go and kick in doors. We are taking them from those apartment buildings and houses and barrios and workplaces everywhere in this country and putting them on the ground in Portland, Oregon, in front of us.
Here's the last thing I want to say. It's still very dangerous on the ground for journalists. So as far as getting new updates on this Portland story, it's very difficult. However, the man Ryan, who was holding the American flag, he did say he definitely feels a little safer that these federal agents, they know what they're doing. They're actually protecting the journalist as well. Not in a way that's like, hey, we're buddies, but you're allowed to be here too, just like these protesters. They're not really playing the favoritism game. They're just trying to follow the law. So that's a good thing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to please like the video, leave your comments, make sure to please subscribe, and we will see you guys all later. God bless. Peace.